What are some red flags in an interview that reveals the job is toxic? People who don't exercise or work out, why don't you? What is the most taboo thing you do regularly? I discuss wages with coworkers. It is so crazy how they don't want you to do that. My manager at my day job was telling me to not do that like recently, like late last year recently. And I'm like, what are you hiding? Huh? Pick my nose. I click the I have read and accept the terms and conditions without having done either. I'm very naughty. Remove my USB drive without clicking safely remove hardware first. Psychopath. Get away from me. Talk to myself, especially when I'm stressed out. I am definitely a big doer of that. I wear 2 different fabrics in the same outfit. That's a sin, you know. You're going to hell. Eat kiwi fruit with the skin. Oh, you're one of those people. Use my turn signal and not drive like an absolute idiot, apparently. I regret opening this comment section. Show my body to strangers online. Settle down, guys. It's just something she keeps in the basement freezer. Rip your inbox. What video games bring you big nostalgia? Donkey Kong Country. I can hear the underwater music already. Lego Star Wars, Lego Harry Potter, and Lego Batman for the Wii. Final Fantasy X. I wish I could play that when it first came out again. F-Zero. Club Penguin, the OG Spyro trilogy. Minecraft, first game I ever got into. Wii Sports Resort. Oh, I love Wii Sports Resort so much. I think the original Wii Sports is a little better though. Mario Party 1 and 2 on the N64. I wish the Switch did it justice, but the maps just don't feel the same. Pac-Man. My favorite one, brings me to so much nostalgia, is the original Spider-Man game for the PlayStation 1. That and the PlayStation 1 had this Space Invaders game. It was it made it kind of like live action. It was so cool. It was called Space Invaders DX or something like that. I don't know. What is your comfort TV show? Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Being Puppycat. No show has ever said it's okay to be a lazy garbage person. We all crave comfort. Also Cake. Friends. I love them. It's a show where I can turn off my brain and laugh. Help me so much. Modern Family. Richard Morty, baby. Any of the Scooby-Doo shows. This is actually super valid. My favorite ones were the A Pup Named Scooby-Doo ones from the 80s and then What's New Scooby-Doo from the early 2000s. Mwah, so good. The new Velma show that got teased today looks like though. Looks horrible. Star Trek. Parks and Rec. It's one of the most optimistic comedy shows ever. Supernatural. Yeah, it gets a bit hammy in places, but I love it. What's your go-to conversation theme when talking to someone you don't know? I never thought about this. I usually talk about the city where we're currently located to get more conversation topics. Movies, music, and books. That kind of stuff that smothers fledgling conversations in the nest. What do you want to be when you grow up? Works great for people who are actually adults because they realize that they still have choices to make and decades of figuring it out. I make assumptions and hope they prove me wrong so we can both laugh. Sometimes uncomfortably so. Themselves. People will always want to talk about themselves. What are you having for your tea? I'll take a raspberry Arizona iced tea, thank you very much. What is the best example of a smart person being incredibly stupid you've ever experienced? Our physics professor once held a remote lecture without turning his Google Meet on, so he just spoke to the computer for 1.5 hours. I used to work at a chemical engineering plant. One day I was in the kitchen washing my glasses with a drop of dish soap, and one of the lead engineers said I shouldn't wash my glasses like that. I asked him why not, and he responded that I will wash the prescription off. That's not how that works, man. The prescription's in the lens. You might wash the coatings off the glasses, but not the prescription. My brother-in-law had a master's degree in physics and maths. He was a teacher at high school. He had a new house built, and he thought he would save money by nailing on the drywall, sheetrock, gib board. He managed to put nails through a hot water pipe and the wiring. By the time he'd paid a plumber and electrician to fix up the mess, it cost a lot more. Later in life, he fell off a ladder and died. Well, that took a dark twist. Yeah, why'd you have to call him out for dying like that, man? That has nothing to do with the story. My sister has been driving her BF's truck for a year. We get in the truck to go somewhere. She says, wait, I need to go in the house and get a paper towel to dry off the windshield. I say, why don't you use the wipers? She says, I don't know how. I ask, what do you do when it rains? Answer, I stay home. You don't know how to use the windshield wipers? Bro, there's a whole freaking handle for it. I knew a girl studying medicine. We were talking about planes and how they work. She asked me where the engine is, and I said, you know those big spinny things? She said, oh, I thought those were to blow the clouds away. That's actually just like innocent, wholesome stupidity. I dig it. My brother is very intelligent. He lived at home when attending college. Most days, he'd take the bus. Sometimes if my mom didn't need her car, he would be allowed to drive it to school. Multiple times, he drove the car to school, forgot, and took the bus home. You know, honest mistake. Now you just gotta take the bus back and drive home. One of my closest guy friends is a chemistry major with a 3.9 GPA, but bought a fake ID that said he was younger than he actually was. Dude, how do you even manage? Come on. One time, I was at my friend Claudio's apartment with his brother just hanging out and watching a movie. All of a sudden, I hear a whoosh and see a big flash of light. I look over at Claude and his hair is on fire. We get it out quickly and I asked him what the hell just happened. He told me I was trying to listen to the sound the lighter made when I flicked it. We were completely sober at the time. Classic Claudio. My sister is such a smart and amazing person, but she also thought north is always the direction you're facing. Always? Every time? It changes based on the person? That doesn't make sense, man. What kind of people often get treated with less sympathy? People missing front teeth. People who aren't that good looking or have low social skills. People with schizophrenia. My grandma was a licensed therapist and she loved them. It broke her heart to always see them painted in a bad light on the news. Poor people. Ugly people. Just because someone is less attractive doesn't mean you have to treat them like dirt. The homeless. Fat people. I've been fat and I've been skinny, and the difference in how people treat you is astounding. The elderly. Elder abuse is rampant. If everything on earth suddenly became safely edible, what is the first thing that you're trying? This is gonna really differentiate some people. Edible, but what about the taste? Dirt can become a sustainable food source, but I doubt it would be very tasteful. I'd probably go with crayons. They're so colorful, they have to taste good, right? Liquid, hot, mag. Eat a Hot Pocket right out of the microwave. Basically the same thing. Vouch, especially the pepperoni, like, you know, the pizza ones. That red, hot sauce. Coolant, looks refreshing. Crystals, Play-Doh. Good news, Play-Doh is in fact safe to eat. Munch up. Those stone balls in front of Target. Are you gobbling the entire ball in one bite? Clouds, I want to taste the difference between snow clouds and rain clouds and fluffy clouds. Wood chips, will they taste like potato chips? Maybe with the right dip. Anything's possible. My scented candles. What is your anti-bucket list? Things you never want to do. Climb Mount Everest. Sit in a room full of spiders. Go to war and get Alzheimer's. Both just no. Yeah, not in the ideal situation for either of those things. Cave diving. Get a kidney stone. The fact that those exist make my skin crawl. My parents both got kidney stones in the same year a couple years back. It was crazy. Disney World or Disneyland? American consumer BS extraordinaire. Slam my testicles into a sliding glass door. Hey, don't knock it till you try it, man. Be in Times Square on New Year's Eve. Too damn many people. Yeah, but if you don't go there, how are you gonna see Tyler Ninja Blevins floss? He wasn't seeing enough movement, so if you're there, it's more movement. Going in on a submarine deep in the ocean. Black Friday shopping. Not as bad as it used to be. It was really bad a couple years ago, but like I feel like 2019 or 2018 was the last year it was really bad. Go on a cruise ship. Yeah, I'm done with them. I've been on about 5 cruises. None of them were great. After the last one that lasted 7 days. What a dumb idea. None of the food was very good. All they do is try to sell you stuff when you're on the ship. The excursions are the only good thing, and it would be way better if you just flew to an island and stayed in an Airbnb and did it from there. Then you wouldn't have to get back on the ship where they just try to sell you more crap. Everything on the ship is pretty substandard. The only highlight of this last trip was an excellent steel pan player. Definitely not worth it. Swim with sharks, jump out of an airplane, and go to Florida. All at the same time? What did you survive? Both parents in hospice together. I watched my father die, then 3 weeks later, held my mother in my arms when she died. The great toilet paper crisis of 2020. Some say there are those with crusty buns still searching. Somebody needs to inform them about the old shower, not to be mistaken for the old in the shower. My birth. I decided to pop out early, so I had to spend some time in one of those baby aquariums. Baby aquarium. Well, what are they actually called? I've been calling them baby aquariums for as long as I've been alive. Falling off a cliff and falling through a table made of glass. How big was the cliff? I gotta know. I pooped my pants at the mall. You did what? At the mall? A man broke in the apartment, found me hiding in the bathroom, and pointed a gun at me. A tsunami in Thailand in 2004. Sleeping through my house catch on fire. If I'm going out in any way, this is probably the way it's gonna happen because I am a heavy freaking sleeper, and I would go honk shoo me through that entire burning process, man. What's your favorite album ever? I am dying to see this. I am very excited to see what people pick. Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder. Pearl Jam, 10. The Black Parade, My Chemical Romance. Pretty basic answer, but an acceptable one. Gorillaz, Plastic Beach. Gorillaz is good, but personally I think Plastic Beach is overrated. The very first album was probably the best, has a ton of underrated songs, and Demon Days is pretty good too. But I'm pretty biased on that because I grew up listening to Demon Days. Hey, Volcanic_Shoe, I don't think this guy asked for your opinion. Sorry. Abbey Road, invalid. No way. Beatles, overrated. Beatles suck. And I know you didn't ask for my opinion, but when the opportunity for Beatles slander arises, I must take it. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. This is a great pick. Love that. Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Wish You Were Here, Floyd. Jagged, Little, Pill. Pixies, Doolittle. What is a part of history that we consider to be a fact is 100% fake? Corsets were not typically tight-laced. They were only tight-laced by the highly fashionable women, and usually only for particular events or portraits. Corsets were designed to be comfortable. Women wore a cotton layer underneath the corset so it didn't rub up against the skin. The corset was more like a bra, but instead of using the shoulders to support it, use the whole torso. Some people claim they are much more comfortable than modern bras. The intense proportions of the past were achieved with corsets and padding. Tight lacing was uncommon, but layers of petticoats or hoops or bum rolls or whatever else at the time was very common to give women the trendy body shape at the time. Ned Kelly's last words being "such is life." That was made up by the reporter. So many Aussies have it tattooed or have big stickers on their 4x4s. But I guess "oh well" doesn't have the same ring to it. The lady who sued McDonald's didn't do so frivolously. She received third-degree burns from how hot that coffee was and needed a skin graft. It was quickly found that the location was keeping the coffee well above the temperature you can legally serve a hot drink in a cup at. The fact that most people think the suit was over the temperature of the coffee and not the debilitating burns that woman received is one of the PR world's greatest triumphs. You are not immune to propaganda. That Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Almost everything about the medieval times, our image of it is highly influenced by Hollywood. Marie Antoinette saying "let them eat cake." Romans indulged in food so much they had a special place to go and vomit so they could eat more. Maybe that has been dispelled by now, but many still believe it. I have never heard of that in my entire life. What do you mean? A Stegosaurus fighting a T-Rex. They lived millions of years apart. Stegosaurus 144 lived million years ago. T-Rex 65 million years ago. Insane difference. Still almost most every dinosaur-related media places them together. Whatever the frick is on the History Channel nowadays. As long as American Pickers is still on there, and maybe some Pawn Stars, count me in. I haven't watched either of those shows in a very long time. I have no interest. What did your crush do that completely ruined your infatuation for them? This girl I had a crush on early on in high school told me that she recently broke up with her last boyfriend because his dad passed away suddenly, and as she put it, wouldn't stop being depressed and a frickin' crybaby about it. I didn't talk to her much again after she said that. Huh? Talk about no sympathy, dude. That is horrible. Tried to pour vodka into my drink when I wasn't looking. We went somewhere and she and her friends pulled into 3 handicapped parking spaces. There were plenty of other spots, but these were the closest. None of them were handicapped in any way. Everyone does it, she said. No, they do not. She mentioned her last name. I recognized it. It's probably a good thing. Found out her grandmother was my grandfather's older sister. It worked out okay. We were on a double date sort of deal with her friend and my friend. We found that out pretty early in the night. We literally left our off for 15 minutes making jokes and traded dates. I ended up dating her friend for about 4 years. You traded dates? Is it that easy sometimes? We talked about exes. She mentioned how she should have cheated on him because he was boring to be with. Yeah, I'm out. You should have? She didn't cheat on him, but she said she should have because he was boring? Ugh, I'm gonna throw up. That's disgusting. He was rude and dismissive to my little brother. I know little brothers can be annoying, but he, brother 13, wasn't being nosy or disrespectful. He just wanted to know if my crush liked video games. I'm also really close to my siblings and wanted them to be included. The next boyfriend I had, / now husband, spent hours teaching my little brother to play old school StarCraft, and to this day, 6 years later, they still play video games together at least once a week. Upgrades, people. Upgrades. Turns out, she had absolutely no filter. She took pride in saying what was on her mind, which was kind of cute at first until I realized that she literally meant it. Every thought in her head spewed out of her mouth no matter who could hear it. Not a day went by where she didn't get into an argument with someone over some insensitive or insulting comment that she made. She was the female embodiment of Larry David in Curb Your Enthusiasm. That is not a comparison you want to have made against you, so you definitely are doing something wrong, lady. Tore up the only ever Valentine's card I ever gave. I was 14 or 15, in front of me and laughed. That's so sad. That's so sad. Oh no. He littered. Just opened his car door and dropped out a McDonald's bag on the ground. That killed it right there. How in the Lord's year of 2023 are people still littering? I would rather my car be filled with trash than throw a single piece of trash outside on the ground. That is so freaking disrespectful to Mother Earth. It's ridiculous. Turns out that if you wanna be my lover, you should not get with my friends. Oh no. You got with them? Oh no. What tattoo is a turnoff? Misspelled words. No regrets. We're the Millers is weirdly one of my favorite movies ever, and I think I'd want to talk to someone with that tattoo. Lol. When I was changing with my boyfriend for the first time, he took off his pants and his entire upper left leg was covered with giant leopard spots. I almost screamed. Anything poorly drawn. My ex was a hot guy. He got a wolf tattoo on his chest. Oh my god. It had crossed eyes and a fat weird face, and for some reason pine trees embedded in the fur. Ugh. Just why? Live, laugh, love. No one better have a live, laugh, love tattoo. I swear to God. Random Chinese words on someone who has no idea what they even say. My mom is Chinese and she had to stop herself from laughing because she saw a woman with a giant tattoo on her back in Chinese that meant I hope that was done on purpose. Property of, not your name. Property of your name. Plot twist, they only date people with the same name, so they don't need to remove the tattoo. Spider butt tattoos. I'm sorry, what? What is a spider butt tattoo? I slept with a girl once who had sweet tattooed on one and sour on another. Could you taste the difference? Oh man. Those giant last name ones in the ugly font on the forearm or upper back like it's their jersey. Only God can judge me. What about only Judy can judge me? People who take 20 to 30 minutes to take a dump? What are y'all doing in there? About 75% I deal with my IBS either being constipated or lava water coming out. 25% of the time it's a breakaway from reality and I catch up on news or social media. It's one of three things. 1, really constipated. 2, the wipe that won't end. And 3, the only place to find some damn peace and quiet. Hiding from the family. It is the only sanctuary. Working on getting hemorrhoids. Taking a dump. I mean, as you should. Taking a dump on hard mode. Being unable to take a dump or get off the pot. Nothing is happening, but the second you try to stand, you still feel painfully sour. I mean, that's one way to put it for sure. What video game do you think has the best lore? Mass Effect. Love reading through all the codex entries. BioShock 1 and 2. I love Halo's lore. Fallout. Legacy of Kain. Portal, especially with the Cave Johnson and Caroline plotline. I think I agree with that one. It's at least a top 5 Portal for sure. Mass Effect. Is it cheating to say Warhammer 40k games? They do have games, and since it's based on the tabletop game, there's like 30 plus years of lore and hundreds of novels to look into. That is cheating. That does not count. Silent Hill. What music artist's death hurt the most? Christine McVie's death a couple months ago really got to me. I feel like she got a bit overshadowed by Stevie Nicks, and that's a damn shame. Songbird is an absolutely brilliant song. I struggle to describe why, but something about it just hits me deep in my soul in a way music rarely does. Christine wrote so many brilliant songs and doesn't get enough credit. Freddie Mercury. If I heard right, a few days before he passed, he said that he had so much more music to make. For me, Bowie. Cobain was probably the most shocking for me, but Adam Yauch was the one that made me feel like I was getting old. Taylor Hawkins. I never felt any ounce of anything when a celebrity died. I mean, who really gives a frick if a famous person dies? Doesn't change my day-to-day routine, but Taylor passing really bothered me. Mac Miller. Man, I hate I had to scroll down so far to find this answer. Rip Mac. Jimi Hendrix. Avicii. He was so broken and run down by all the fame. Amy Winehouse. Every time I see clips of Gaga performing with Tony Bennett, they're lovely, but I can't help thinking what might have been. If she wasn't bulimic, if she wasn't addicted, if she wasn't married to an absolute... If her father wasn't so terrible, if. She was so damn self-destructive, but I do wonder if she could have gotten her life together, and if so, what we could have had. You walk into someone's house, and what's the first thing you look for? That's the biggest red flag. A disgusting bathroom. Mistreated or neglected animals, i.e. a dog constantly kept tied outside with no shelter, a cat with a super dirty litter box, or a fish with a disgusting tank. Looks through comments to see what red flags I need to remove from my house. I have a pen and a pad right now in my hand while I'm going through these, and I am scribbling. Not like I'm ever gonna have anybody at my house ever. I don't have very many friends, and I don't attract women, but it's okay. The smell and the state of the toilet. I don't care if your house is messy, if you have dishes piling up, but if it smells like animal, I want to book it. Smell. Who is cooking the feet? Because they are done. If the house is dirty. I don't care about kids' toys all over the place. I care that the dog pooped last week and no one cleaned it up. That tells me I probably don't want to sit on any surface or eat anything. And my clothing needs to go straight into the wash when I get home. Blue plastic oil drum. What does this mean? What does this mean? Faint yet noticeable crying sounds or cries for help from the basement. Are they hoarders? What are some behaviors that scream unintelligence? Inability to consider an idea with which you disagree. Calling people names instead of explaining your point. When you no longer use reason, but start using volume to win your arguments. I disagree strongly! I'm not sure if you can reliably judge intelligence based solely on behavior, but people who try to board the train while others are exiting score pretty freaking high in my book. Not being curious about things and not caring about learning about anything. Not being willing to admit when they're wrong and always deflecting their mistakes instead of owning up. Having strong opinions on things they don't understand. I used to be like this, and then I realized I'm not helping my case by pretending like I know things. So if I don't know, I don't know. I'm just gonna say, hey man, I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know what you're talking about, therefore I don't have anything to say. Using being older in age as a factor to forward your arguments instead of reason, logic, or evidence. Regurgitation of talking points and cannot form own opinions on critical think. A lot of these answers are basically reasons why people don't like other people that have nothing to do with intelligence. What celebrities do you hate? Jake Paul and Logan Paul. All of the people in those TikTok houses that got popular during COVID lockdown, if we can call them celebrities. Ezra Miller. Yeah, they really showed who they really are last year, and it is not good. They need to get their stuff together. Don't like Chris Brown for the obvious reasons. 6ix9ine, especially his music. Dr. Phil McGraw. Yeah, doctor in heavy quotes. Bill Cosby. Ellen DeGeneres. Surprised I haven't seen anyone say Jared Leto yet. People who don't exercise or work out, why don't you? I work construction, and honestly, after working all day, going up and down ladders and moving equipment, I am all set. I used to, and it feels good when it's done, but I absolutely hate every second of it. It's more fun if you have somebody to run or exercise with, but I don't do it, so it's very hard to motivate myself to do something I really don't like. I wasn't athletic growing up. I hated gym class almost as much as gym class hated me. We never reconciled. I also have zero discipline. I was the kid that never did my homework, but got by on the tests and papers. I still blow off daily routines. I do lack discipline for things I don't enjoy, but I ended up finding my passion, worked very hard, and now have a career doing what I love. I just still really hate running. I'm gonna start tomorrow. I'm gonna start next year. Really take it seriously. Once you miss January 1st, it's basically a lost cause. Gotta wait for the next one to come around. I walk. That's all I feel like doing. Pain. Never liked feeling out of breath. It was always a horrible feeling, and I couldn't understand how anyone could like working out. Turned out I had extortional asthma, even well medicated, and I don't like the feeling. I eat healthy and have an active job and free time, but I don't do anything extra. I don't want to, because it's so incredibly boring that it's hard to keep up for as long as it takes, both time-wise each workout and consistency with workouts, to feel or see any motivating results. What are some red flags in an interview that reveals the job is toxic? Well, you start at minimum and reevaluate in a month. In a month? Sure, okay. In one interview, I was enthusiastically assured that overtime wasn't an issue, but if you pick up an extra shift, they pay in gift cards so that it saves you on taxes. I know that they're trying to save themselves employment taxes in time and a half. They're not doing me any favors. I declined their offer. The IRS wants a word with you. This actually happened to me. Interviewer, do you have any questions for us? Me, what is a challenge this department has recently faced? Interviewer, job security. Hey, at least he's honest, man. I'm glad you saved your time. I always ask everyone in the room when their last vacation was. Had an owner of a restaurant tell me, if you have a problem, don't come to me because you won't like how I fix it. Yeah, keep your job. Trying to get you to agree to start before they tell you what you'll be paid. If you hear the word sales mentioned anywhere in the job description, then sales will be your main job. Once you realize that all upper management is family, when they don't realize that you're interviewing each other. Assigned seating in the lunchroom. Wow, yeah, that's not just a red flag, that's a crazy flag. Yeah, I'll just eat mine outside at another job. Thanks. The museum people do not sit with the gift shop people. Oh, what can just F off in general? TV news. They just talk about what they're gonna talk about and then a freaking commercial. I never understood that, man. Like, come on, get on with it, man. I'm not paying you to show me a commercial. I want to see the news. Animal abusers. Of course. Anyone who is doing that needs to go the heck away and never come back. More of a who. The guy who stands outside 7-Eleven and opens the door for me in both directions and then gives me a little shirt eye when I don't give him money for doing a job I don't need done and did not hire him to do. Every frickin' day. Give him Monopoly money and say, since you want to play games. Unnecessary censorship. YouTube ads and YouTube Premium. They gotta make money somehow, man. Do I agree that the ads are a little out of control? Absolutely. But it's kind of a necessary evil. Without YouTube ads, we couldn't really have YouTube. People that try to correct others when they are not educated enough on the subject themselves. There's a whole subreddit for that. r/confidently incorrect. I looked at it recently for the first time. It's pretty fun. Smokers who get shirty when vape clouds get within 2 feet of them. Like, bruh, you just blew cigarette smoke in my face. You can deal with the smell of my fruity nicotine stick. Also, tailgaters. They can F right off. People who bring politics into everything. Get over it. I mean, I like the game, getting over it, but telling me to get over it when I'm peeved about something, it's not gonna help me, man. All right, everybody, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.